right, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Armon, and we're back with another video. So I wanted to do this video today because I've gotten a few emails from people, asking about, YouTube and how it is and how is it being a creator and how do you become a blogger and, how is life like as a blogger? Because, and a lot of people I find think that it's just like this magnificent life where we make a lot of money, we get invited to parties, and we become celebrities, and people recognize us out in the streets, and it's just like this dream job. While all of that is true to a certain degree, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you obviously have to work for it, but it is true. There is a dark side, I believe, to YouTube, and it's particularly the blogging and commentary space that people really don't tell you about. Outside of, making money and all these other things, there's a lot of other variables that go into this. And so for those people that are thinking about getting into this space, I advise you to watch this video. All right. So let's just jump right into a couple of those things. Now, for me, this is my personal list of things. Now, for everybody, it might be different. For other YouTubers, they might be different. This is not the holy grail of the dark side of downside. These are just my goals. So anybody that feels like this is not true, this is my opinion, okay? And if you have other things that you would like to add to the conversation, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. Or if you have some advice too, please add that to the comment section below. All right, so let's get into some of my things that I consider the darker side of being a YouTube blogger / commentator. So the first thing I will get into is competition. There's a lot of competition in the blogging space, in the YouTube space. YouTube alone has garnered so many new YouTubers because of the pandemic. So everybody's picking up a camera and everybody is picking up a microphone and everybody has an opinion at this point, And so with celebrity commentary, while it's an easier way to get views, there's so much competition out there. So you have to constantly keep your audience engaged, and you have to constantly try to come up with new ideas to kind of pretty much regurgitate a lot of the time the same thing that every other person is talking about. So competition gets really, really steep. A lot of people are talking about the same thing. A lot of people are doing the same content. So that's one thing to consider. It's very saturated. Celebrity news commentary is a very saturated market, and there's a lot of people that are doing it right now. That's not to say that you can't do it, but understand, if you're trying to get into a space of celebrity commentary, just understand you and everybody else. All right. Anxiety, which also leads to anxiety. That's my other one. So say you're in it, you're doing your thing. Anxiety is a big one. Like for me, I suffer from anxiety disorder, right? And so when you're talking about people and you're doing celebrity news and you're trying to, and you're wanting to do this full time, like I'm not talking about those people that are just doing it to say, hey, I'm a YouTuber, and they do a video every 3 weeks or 1 week. You know what I mean? And they're not really true to the craft of YouTube. I'm talking about, this is for those people that really do this and take it serious, like put their money into it, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. There is a level of anxiety that comes with this, right? Because you're talking about people daily for a living, right? It's highly competitive, and then you're watching the numbers and you want to make money. So you get this. You get anxious because, you want to do well. You want your channel to grow, and you always are trying to think of other ways to make it better, and with that anxiety, sometimes comes a loss of sleep. I can't tell you how many days like I've lost sleep to YouTube, and it's not necessarily to any one particular person. It's just my sleep pattern has gotten all jacked up because when you're a blogger or a celebrity news commentator, the news never stops. So you literally have to turn the news off. Like it's stories all day long, and your audience will want you to talk about them all day. There's always going to be somebody up for you to tell the story to, and there's always going to be a story to tell. And so at some point you're going to have to, like, it gets to a point where especially when you're newer, right? you're not getting a lot of sleep because you're gonna have to keep busting out content. You have to keep busting that content out so that you can grow your channel, so you can grow your presence, you can grow your influence. And so your sleep pattern kind of gets jacked up. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, now that I've gotten a little bit more established, my sleeping is a little bit better, but still, I'm up because sometimes you don't want to miss something, or you don't want to miss a DM and it's really important, or, or you want to get on that story, or you want to put it out because there's so much competition. Especially if you're in California, you're 3 hours behind. You have somebody in New York, they're putting the video up at 9 o'clock their time. It's 6 o'clock your time. And now you're competing with that same video, for viewership. And now the earlier, the first video that goes out, typically they get all the views for it, and then the other videos start to trickle behind, typically. And so, there's a lot of things that go into that. So sleep, when you want to become a YouTuber, a celebrity news commentator, blogger, you don't get a lot of sleep. All right. You don't get a lot of sleep. And that kind of goes into my other thing about time. There's not a lot of time for anything else. When you really are trying to do this, you don't have time for family. You don't have time for friends. Like, you have to make time, but you have to give so much time and work and effort to the content, to the work, where you may not have time to go hang out on the weekends. You may not have time to go to this function, because what if a major story breaks and you're not available to cover it and it's going viral? It's all over and you're all the way out, having lunch or having a kiki. I cannot tell you how many times that I have been out at a restaurant, or hell, with my family, or just having a day off, and the biggest news, it almost feels like the biggest news breaks when I'm gone. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm nowhere near my computer. I'm nowhere near a camera. Oh my God. And then you just see all these people getting all these views, and you're like, oh my God. The way that this bag is set up right now, like, I just lost a bag. I mean, you can still come back and get some, once you build your platform, but that initial hit, it's nothing like that initial hit. You know what I'm saying? So there's time. If you want to maximize your views, you gotta be right there when it happens. And a lot of times you're kind of waiting around and scouring and looking to see, because everybody's not going to have resources right away to break a story. You don't want to go that route of trying to lie. You know what I mean? That doesn't end well. You end up getting in lawsuits and a bunch of different other things. You don't want to just be known as a person on YouTube that's faking it till they make it, to where they're going to lie to break some stories. It's not that. It's really, honestly, not that serious. So, you know what I mean? You just have to get to it when you can, but understand, you have to sacrifice a lot of your time for the work and to the content. Early on, like, I had problems, dealing with, relationships and family and friends. Like, some people didn't last because, they didn't understand that this was my priority. So anybody around you, they need to understand that the content, your YouTube channel, the news, the gossip, that's the priority. And, and that's just what it is. That's what it takes. And that's part of the downside. Like, that literally has to become your priority over your relationship and other things in order to really be successful at it. And then eventually, though, you can, once you establish yourself, you can take breaks. But like earlier on, and when you're on the come up, when you're building, you don't have time for that. You know what I mean? You really don't have time for anything outside of your YouTube channel and the news. The price. It's a little bit pricey. A lot of people see, oh, it's lights, cameras, action, and this, and microphone. All these little things cost. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, there are some people that that do the bare minimum, and you can do that. But if you really want to be taken serious, and you really want to be respected, and you really want to be somebody that's truly influential, you're gonna put some money into your platform. Right. And so it costs. Cameras cost. Good quality cameras cost. Good quality microphones cost. You being a blogger, you need a team. You know what I mean? So like that costs. Like, you got to have, like, in order to kind of free up your space. Sometimes you need an editor, and you need a graphics guy, like branding, all of that, logos and intros, and, and thumbnail creators, and all of these things cost money. I can't tell you how much money I spend a month on my YouTube channel in just in like keeping the upkeep, as far as subscriptions to streaming softwares and trademarking, and thumbnail creators, and just a bunch of 99s. You know what I'm saying? And $12.99 here, $29.99 here, $60 here, $49.99 here. This hosting platform, that hosting platform, $49.99 here. Like, it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's almost like damn near $500 a month just on the back end, just keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? Things that I need to do to create the show. So the price. So you want to make sure that you understand that it's not cheap. You know what I mean? And it costs. It really costs. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Another thing is, this is not for the faint of heart. See, a lot of people think that this is just all great and it's all fun and everybody knows your name and it's face and name recognition, and how cool is that? No, there's the backlash. The backlash and the trolling comes at an all new high level, okay? And so if you don't have thick skin, if you cannot handle backlash, if you cannot handle trolls, this is not for you. So being a celebrity gossiper, blogger, there is a level of backlash that you will receive. There is a level of trolling that you will receive daily, okay? I have been canceled at this point maybe 50 times. You know what I mean? Back in 2018, I was really canceled. I lost over 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers. It was just a mess, right? And through that, a lot of it was like, it got really nasty on me because I felt like people like turned against me. And then a lot of other channels came through and and they were able to build off of that because a lot of people hated me during that time. And some of those people still do. You know what I mean? So you get to a point where you have to be stronger than the backlash, because some people on the internet are going to be out here just ready to hate you. And it doesn't matter what you do, they are going to dislike you. And you can have an opinion about something one day. They love you. Then your opinion changes or you have a different opinion the next day. You're the worst person in the world. People won't want to, subscribe to you. They won't want to send you money. They won't want to do any of that, right? And so people will want to pull back their support. And a lot of trolls, people like to troll you for different, because we're you got to understand, in a gossip space, in a celebrity gossip space, there's a certain vibration there. And you have to just realize there's a certain vibration that's a little bit lower. It's not all power. It's not all positive. So getting into a celebrity commentary, gossiping world, it is a lower vibrational frequency. And so you have a lot of messy people, a lot of messy energy, because you have to be a level of messy to be able to deliver the news. So if you're messy, you're going to garner a messy audience. And so you have to be able to be above even the mess when you are a part of the mess. You know what I mean? Even if you're creating the mess, you have to be above it, because people will try to suck you deep down into it when you're just giving them the show. And so with that being said, also subscribers. Subscribers can be very, 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 very fickle. All the subscribers do not love you, okay? And when you get into a celebrity gossip space, a lot of subscribers don't want to see you happy. A lot of people like to count your money. And if they feel like you're making too much money, they start pulling back support. Also, a lot of subscribers like to see beef in the celebrity gossip commentary sector, okay? And so you have a lot of bone collectors, and they try to pit content creators against each other because it's entertainment. It's a show. And if you have the right content creator, if they get the right content creators, some of those content creators will go back and forth and pick with you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful with that. And a lot of people are not ready for that. A lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of that goes into it. A lot of people don't realize that everybody is not happy for you. A lot of people, once you get a YouTube channel and it's a successful channel, a lot of people that watch YouTube want to do YouTube. So some of them become envious of those that are successful, especially if they haven't figured out the formula. So at some point, they go from being a subscriber to being a hater. But you gotta, again, you're in a gossip lower frequency. So you gotta understand that that's what comes with this side of the game. And then now we're gonna get into some of the most important ones to me. No trust. As a blogger, commentator, I don't care. You can pick a YouTuber. Most YouTubers, most bloggers trust no one. Most YouTubers don't associate with other YouTubers because it's a dog eat dog world. It's very cutthroat, and a lot of people are users and opportunists. So you're gonna get to a point where, because you're talking about people every day and you're spilling the tea, well, people are going to want your tea. Or if you're giving your opinion on people are not going to like your opinion. So then they're going to start digging stuff up on you. Or then another YouTuber might start dragging you based on your opinion. So then now all of a sudden you become content. You become content. So at that point, you don't really trust anybody because you don't know who's using you as a storyline to build their channel, or what YouTuber does not like you at this point that you know, somebody may try to give them a story on you to create content, right? Most YouTubers I know don't trust anybody. I didn't start this game out that way, but it's a hard lesson that gets learned through this process. I got burnt really bad, maybe twice. You know what I'm saying? And I don't associate with a lot of YouTubers, and I probably won't ever do it again, just because, for one, it's such a dog eat dog world. Then for two, a lot of people are opportunists. I think another reason why a lot of us YouTubers are that way is because it's simply the work that you do. YouTubers get stories on people all day long, from friends of people, best friends of people, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. I remember I did a story. I'm not going to say any names. If you remember, then you remember. This girl's boyfriend sent me dirty underwear of him. And it was like, wow, that's somebody that you trust, that you sleep with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like if they can be taking pictures of your underwear, selling it to the tabloids and the blogs to expose you when they're mad, what would this other YouTuber do? Or what would this friend of mine do? Or what does this person that I'm mentoring do? Like, you know what I mean? So I think we see so much, we just learn that nobody can be trusted. And so there's a guard up that happens, that you develop. There's a big wall that you develop as a YouTuber, especially as a celebrity commentator, gossip, blogger, YouTuber, that you build this hard shell to where you don't want to associate with people. You don't trust people because you know how people really can be, because we have to report on those stories. And then you see how people move around YouTube. They're very cutthroat, and they're very shady. Speaking of shady, bloggers, a lot of bloggers don't support bloggers. Everybody wants to be the only one. Everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to have the most views. So there's not going to be a lot of support there. You know what I mean? You may get one or two, people, but everybody's not going to support you, but rightfully so, because on the flip side, like I said, a lot of people have been burnt before by supporting people. So they're like, well, I'm not helping anybody else because I try to help X, Y, and Z. They burnt me. So you got to figure it out. It's a domino effect. You know what I mean? Some of the established bloggers feel like they've been burnt enough, and some of the up and coming bloggers feel like, damn, nobody wants to support me. No one wants to help me. But that's just part of the game. You have to get it on your own. You have to be prepared to get it on your own and make some genuine connections along the way. Now, the last two that really get me going, and I think this is the biggest thing, is the creative block and being boxed in. So many would say, well, creative block, I mean, all you're doing is talking about celebrities. What kind of block is that? Well, creative block is if we're all talking, there's only a few celebrities compared to the amount of YouTubers that are doing celebrity news. So if everybody's got a picture up and talking about what happened on the blogs, it's like, how can I make this more interesting without adding lies? Or if I'm new and if I'm coming up, if I don't have direct access to get an interview or do this or do that, how can I make this more interesting to grow my platform? So sometimes you get a lot of blocks there and you get discouraged. Just being a YouTuber in general, having to create every single day as a blogger, as a YouTuber, people want to see your face for the most part every day or every other day. And so you can get drained. You can get fatigued. There's a lot of I literally get to a point, I'll be honest with you. I quit every month in my mind. I literally quit once a month. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I literally quit YouTube probably once a month. There was a point where I was quitting every day. I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm done. But I've limited down to now once a month. Like I've quit. You know what I'm saying? I've literally quit in my mind. So, creatively, you do get blocked. And then sometimes with that block, you feel boxed in because you want to do things different. And this is the most frustrating for a person like me because I'm a Gemini, I'm an air sign, and I don't like to be boxed in. I have so many layers to me. I do music, I like to talk, I like to act, I like comedy. I like spirituality and tarot cards. I like a bunch of different things. However, when you build a YouTube channel on celebrity commentary and gossip, if you're not talking about that, then your channel will suffer from views and subscribers. I've lost subscribers. People, when you try to do other things, they mention other things that you've done. When you try to, maybe you want to start cooking. And they're like, well, yeah, we like the cooking video, but we want to hear you gossip about X, Y, and Z. And so whenever you try to do things differently, there's a lot of times you don't get that support. And you'll notice that your numbers will drop, which will, if you become a full-time YouTuber, you know what I'm saying, which a lot of your income depends upon that, it starts to create an anxiety. Then you get no sleep and you get frustrated because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to feel boxed in. But when you get into a space of celebrity commentary and just YouTube in general, I believe that you gotta understand whatever you build your channel on, for the most part, they're gonna hold you to that. I don't know if you guys ever have noticed that there's some of these channels out here that have like 500,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, and their channel's like dead. A lot of that happens because they try to switch the content, or they do this or do that, and somehow the subscribers are gone. The engagement is no longer interested because they've switched the content. And so that's one thing that I've always kind of struggled with, because it's like, I don't like being boxed in. And that's the biggest thing about being a celebrity gossiper and commentator. You are literally boxed in. And then the bigger you get, the tighter the box goes, because then you start to bleed off from just YouTube to other social medias, because now it bleeds into Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and then in real life. Because the people that you talk about now, they know you in real life. It just doesn't stay here. So you got to be well aware that if you're that asshole on YouTube, you're that asshole outside of YouTube to those people. Because everybody that's watching YouTube lives in the real world. And so when you go outside, people will recognize you as either that guy that they love or that jerk that was talking about them. And so those are just some things to keep in mind when thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and specifically a celebrity gossip blog or column. You know what I mean? But other than that, I love my job. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change it or take it away. But it's definitely taxing on the mental. There's a mental taxation that happens with this. It's not so much physical, but it is very mentally draining. And so there's times where you do have to take a break. A lot of YouTubers have to go have therapy. I'm one of them. I go to therapy as well, because, it's it weighs a lot on your mind, especially if you are real, truly a creative. So yeah, for those people that wanted to know the kind of downside to being a celebrity blogger or gossiper, I hope this helps. For those people that's kind of wanting to get into the YouTube game, I just felt like it was necessary because not that many people talk about this. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know if you guys like videos like this, and maybe I'll do some more. So until then, I want you to keep that same energy, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.